So you don't just classify yourself as a godly woman because you think you dress very well, you think you are properly covered, you think you wrap your hair very well, and your husband is having issue with you being a Christian wife. I think he's the one that should be defining you as a Christian wife. Have you asked him? Like, seriously, have you asked him? Have you asked him if you are a Christian wife or you are the perfect wife that you think you are? Let everyone who watches this video make it a point of duty to go ask your husband. Honey, sweetie, am I a Christian wife to you? Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel. I am Mrs. Charity Ugu, and in today's video I want to answer a question. Like most of the time, this is what I do. You can ask questions and I will just come here and give the answer, okay? And so I want to say thank you to those that have subscribed to my channel. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. I beg you. Subscribe to my channel and let's join this family and grow it together, okay? If this is your first time, you are welcome. What I do in my video is to influence your marriage positively, your relationship, and to tell you my experiences and help you to grow and to do well in your own marriage as well. And so in today's video, I'm answering a question. Someone asked me that I should do this video and tell us how a Christian wife should dress. Okay, like how should a Christian wife, a godly wife, how should she dress? How should she come out? And when I saw this question, I kind of laughed, because the truth of the matter is that to some people it may look like, is she the right person to answer that question? And I decided to do this. I've done this before. It didn't come out the way I want it to come out, so I am doing it again because I really think that this question is kind of wide, it's kind of controversial. It's something that everyone kind of have different thoughts and different ideas about. Like, everybody's idea is not together when it comes to this very topic. And so in today's video, I am actually sharing my mind, my thoughts, like always. And so I want to begin like this. I want to ask this question: who is a Christian wife? Who is a godly wife? Because every time it's talked about, people's minds always go to the appearance side of it. Everyone thinks of the appearance, what she should wear, how she should look like, how she should appear, and all of that. That is what most people look at. And I don't think this is right, because I feel that when it comes to Christian wife to the husband, it doesn't have to be just what she's wearing. I think mostly the intent of a woman, the inside of a woman, the content of a woman I think is very key, is very important. We should lay more emphasis on it. Even though the outside appearance is what people look at and define you, what people look at and it just quickly describes a person per se, but then we always, most of the time, ignore. Even when it's talked about in the church, it is mostly ignored. The character, the inside, the content of a person is usually ignored when it has to be exposed, and it should be exposed just the same way the physical appearance is described. So who is a Christian wife? Who is a godly wife? I'd love to say this. A godly wife respects her husband. A godly wife is disciplined. A godly wife, respects her husband's views. A godly wife would support her husband. A godly wife will be devoted to her husband. She is her husband's companion. In fact, her husband's best friend. She loves and she respects him. She helps him, and she fears God. That is even what makes this person a godly wife. You have to have the fear of God, and that should even be the first, because when you have the fear of God, every other thing that comes that I have said right now, it just aligns itself and it follows. But when you don't have the fear of God, you have no idea what these things mean and the value of these things in your relationship and in your marriage, okay? And so I hope you understand that. If you do, deal, okay? So now, if we defined a godly wife as all of these characters that I have said, that I have placed out, that I have uttered out, if this makes up a godly woman, then the truth of the matter is that everyone is really struggling to be a Christian wife. If that is the case, then that means everybody has more work to do, because the truth of the matter is that no matter your age in your relationship and your marriage, you are still struggling to satisfy your husband. You are still struggling to be a good wife. You are still struggling to be that perfect wife, for your husband. So if that be the case, then everybody is trying to be a Christian wife and a godly wife, okay? But let me just go straight to the question: how should a Christian wife dress? And so this is my thought. She asked me, should a Christian wife dress for her husband, or she should dress the way people want her to dress as a Christian wife? And I'm like, seriously? A Christian wife, to me, should dress the way her husband would want her to dress, because in the end, he is your husband. He is the one that you should, attend to his needs, to his requirements, and to what he wants you to do. But you are going to be doing this with wisdom and with the fear of God and with the Holy Spirit inside of you. Because when you do dress the way your husband wants you to dress, and it is awkward, because the truth of the matter is that some men are funny. There are things that a man would want you to wear that when you look at it, inside your mind, you know that it is wrong. For some men, not every man. My husband has this specific sense of style and dress that he wants you to dress. So he doesn't want me too much like over covered as per se, depending on what I'm wearing, and at the same time he does not want me to overexpose myself. Okay, so it depends on the person you are married to, and then it depends on who he is, and then that will now determine if you are to dress the way he would want you to dress. Okay, and so if your husband, you should dress the way your husband wants you to dress, that's correct, but you should do it with a lot of wisdom and with the Holy Spirit of God directing you and guiding your thoughts on when to say no and when to say yes. If he wants you to overexpose yourself, you and I know that that is quite wrong, okay? When you expose the vital parts of your body and it is just too excessive, it doesn't make sense, because at the end of the day, who you are trying to please is not who you are going to owe your judgment to. Okay, you owe your judgment to God at the end of the day, and so that means a lot. Okay, so if your dressing begins to affect your own life, or it begins to affect your personality in the way that you serve your God, it becomes a problem. It becomes a serious issue. So dressing the way he wants you to dress is one thing, and then dressing in modesty is another thing, because that is the key, that is the goal, to dress modestly, to dress like a child of God. Okay, to dress the way that somebody will look at you and then know that yes, this person is a godly wife and is a Christian woman, and at the same time to dress the way your man wants you to dress. Is that clear? Cool. And so we actually dress the way our husbands want us to dress, but like I said, you do that with lots of wisdom. The truth of the matter is that there are some dresses that some people wear. I don't know if you see them, but there are some dresses that some people wear, and you begin to wonder if this person does not have mirror in the house, or if this person didn't even have a decent neighbor that should be able to say to her that this thing you are wearing is not proper. There are times I see some and I'm so amazed. Like, how did this person come out of the house? Not exposing, dressing seductively for your husband does not give you the right to go out naked or half naked like some people do. You see what this person is wearing, and it is just exposing every vital part of the body, and they are moving about the road. And the most amazing part is that some of these people that you see are actually aged. They are not babies. They are big mamas, like adults, people that have grown like over 50 years and all of that. And you see them wear things and you're like, is she a baby? Does this person really know her age? Like, why would you dress like this and come out? Okay, so looking sexy and looking good for your husband and dressing the way he wants you to dress does not give you the right to look anyhow. You should dress normal. You should dress sexy for your husband, definitely. Okay, you should dress sexy for your husband, because there are lots of people that when you bring this topic to, they are going to begin to define it in various ways. I know that lots of people want to define it in the way it suits them, in the way it favors them. If you ask me, maybe what I'm saying now is not what favors another person. Another person may see it in another way and in another light, and they may not like it the way I am doing it. Okay, but then different people have different understandings of how they should dress and how they should come out, and so it makes it difficult for people to really know what to follow. For instance, the Bible says that what you put on shouldn't be what defines you, even though it is kind of difficult to understand that Bible part very well for some people, where it says do not be adorned with all of the jewelries and everything. I think to myself that what it means is that these things you put, these things we wear should not be what defines you as a person. It should not be what describes you as a person, because in the end, even if you are covering up everywhere and that becomes what defines you as a person, what about the inside? What about your intent? What about the person that you are to your husband at the end of the day? So whatever you're wearing, whether you're over covering or you are, putting on the jewelries and everything and all of that, that should not be what defines you as a person. Your definition should be the characters that I have listed earlier in this video, that you possess them as a woman, and that makes you a real, complete, godly woman. And above all, your appearance is another crown. Your appearance is another definer, another thing that defines you and tells people the kind of person that you are. So for whatever you do, modesty is key. Make it moderate. Don't overdo it and don't underdo it. For some people, they are going to be like, if you bring this topic before them, they are going to tell you that taking care of yourself, looking good for your husband is not a guarantee that you can keep him. These people are another set of people. Honestly, they don't care anymore. They don't see all of the trying to be good, looking good and all of that as anything, because they've given up. They don't feel that that is any guarantee for their marriage. Okay, they've given up. And then to other people, they're like, you should expose yourself and all of that. Expose yourself and make yourself look good, make yourself look sexy. That is what guarantees that your husband will remain for you. And to some other people, they'll be like, oh, this way this person is dressed is so bad, it shouldn't be like this, it should wrap up, it should do all of that. And so people have different definitions, different understandings to this very matter, and it becomes so difficult for one to really know which one to answer. So I have basically answered this based on my own thoughts and based on how I dress for my own husband. I dress the way he wants me to dress, but then I apply wisdom to it, so I'll be able to make a balance. It is very important that you strike a balance, that you don't overdo anything and that you do not underdo anything. Because in the end, if you don't take care of yourself and you think that it all has to be the way you want it to be in order to look that Christian woman, in the overdone side of it, you begin to make your man not happy with you. You may think he's happy with you, because what I wanted to say in the end is this: being a godly wife is an answer that should be coming out from the mouth of your husband. Like, have you taken time to ask your husband if you are a godly wife? Based on everything that I have listed when I started the video, you should be able to, this is important. It is crucial that you ask these questions once in a while. Discuss with your husband. I did a video, I think I should leave the link below. I will leave the link below on what men want from their wives. And I love the fact that he was so honest with me. And I came out and I shared his honesty with you of what he's called me in those things that I was trying to teach in that video. He did give me my score, and they were his honest scores. For instance, my husband said to me, your cooking is fantastic, and that is one thing that he has always loved about me, the way I cook. So your cooking is fantastic, it's beautiful, but I'm giving you number 7 because you would keep my food, and most of the time when you keep my food, you serve me wash hand water, and you don't get to give me drinking water because you are running off to do something else, and I have to call you before you come and give me drinking water. And I just figured out that that was wrong. I do it sometimes, not every time, but I do it sometimes, and he didn't like it. An opportunity came and I asked, and he did say it to me, and I started learning how to change that aspect. Okay, so you don't just classify yourself as a godly woman because you think you dress very well, you think you are properly covered, you think you wrap your hair very well, and your husband is having issue with you being a Christian wife. I think he's the one that should be defining you as a Christian wife. Have you asked him? Like, seriously, have you asked him? Have you asked him if you are a Christian wife or you are the perfect wife that you think you are? Let everyone who watches this video make it a point of duty to go ask your husband. Honey, sweetie, am I a Christian wife to you? Am I a godly wife to you? Try to classify me and be patient with his answer, because you may not really get the answer that you are expecting. I warn you, okay? You may not really get the answer, but the truth of the matter is that knowing the right thing and knowing the truth is the key. Is the best of the things that he can ever do for you, okay? He's telling you the truth and what he feels about what you think. So for this topic right now, I think that you should dress the way your husband wants you to dress, but do it in modesty. Okay, that is the best way that a Christian wife should dress. Do it in modesty. When you dress up for your husband, let's just say you dress up for your husband, okay, please make sure you are dressing for your husband, and make sure you do it with good intent. If your intention for any cloth that you put on is bad, all of us, we have minds, all of us, we have a spirit that ministers to us. When you wear something and you know that this is not for your husband, you know that the intent behind whatever you are putting on is bad, please take it off, wrap it and keep, or you dash it out to the person that it will size. Okay, whatever you wear and the intent, always make sure that every time you put on something, you check the intention. That is the meaning of what I'm saying. Check the intention in what you are wearing. If it is a perfect intention, if it is, then go ahead and wear it, because you know that you're wearing it for your husband. But if you know that your intention is not clear, if you know that your mind is telling you something, that this thing I'm wearing is actually provocative, it is actually bad, I don't think my husband, I'm not even wearing it for my husband, any of these negative thoughts, if it's just running around your mind, no matter how much you paid for that cloth, you should take it back. Okay, but what you wear and your husband is pleased with it, like most of the time when I dress up, I use my husband as my mirror. I'm going to ask him, how do I look? That is what I do basically. I ask him, is it good for me? Do you like it? Is the dress fine? I keep asking. Sometimes he gets irritated with my asking, because he'll be like, I've told you it's fine, so it's okay, you should wear it. But sometimes I'm not comfortable, so I keep asking to make sure that when he sees me outside with that dress, he's going to be okay with it. He's not going to look at me and be ashamed, or look at me and be like, why is she dressed like this? So I start from the house. Looking at my mirror is a different thing, but he mirrors what I'm wearing. Okay, he makes me know if I'm well dressed or if I'm not. Okay, so if he has any kind of issues with what I'm wearing, I take it off. He knows that that is what I do. Okay, if he has any complaint, or even if I ask and he's like, it looks as if, I'll just take it off, because I don't want him to see that cloth on me outside and complain. Okay, so dressing modestly is the best thing, the best way that you can actually dress, and dressing the way your husband wants you to dress, but in modesty. Okay, moderately, doing everything in the right way, doing everything in the right measurements, not overdoing it. When you overdo anything, even if it's food that you overeat, it becomes a problem. If it's laugh that you overlaugh, is a problem, it turns to madness. If you overdo anything, if you overwork, you kill yourself. Anything that is overly done is bad. Okay, but everything that is done moderately is perfect. Everyone sees it and everyone loves it. Okay, so guys, this is the answer that I have for this video. I would love for you to drop questions, whatever you want me to work on. Please drop the questions in the comment box, or you DM me. If you have a way to do that, DM me and let me know, and I'm going to answer the questions for you. Okay, so guys, I'll see you in my next video. Love you like always, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you.